Oh, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we've got a fun-filled show for you today and lots of excitement. We're going to be looking at a guy breaking in a horse in York Hall. You've never seen anything like this. I picked it up off the YouTube, and I thought we've got to watch this because this is the way horses should be broken in. But some people have got these gifts, but you've got a gift for cruising.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. But I'd love to get onto rugby with you.
Okay.
The box played well.
Yeah, I thought that All Blacks were going a half pace. That's what I thought.
You might have been wrong when we were leading. Late.
They were. Well, you were there, so you would know.
What amazed me, James, the one whole stand with Cape Town people all sporting All Blacks.
But what is wrong with these people?
I don't know. I don't want their disputers. Someone asked my bill and enlighten me. Flags, colours, and cheering, and the All Blacks afterwards went and gave them a round of applause. But it was a great game.
I'd like to see them go and live in New Zealand, see how much slack they pull there, see if they get a better life living in New Zealand.
There's no rule on who you should support. You support Arsenal and people talk to you.
I know. Well, that's very unfortunate for most of them.
But James,
the point is,
we always pick the bones out of the Springbok team because they invariably lose. People are going to say
they lost again.
Yeah, people are going to say, sure, we've come well. But wait, the championship, we had 6 games, we won 2. That's all. You must remember, for a team, we didn't even get a bonus point. But what I did like with it, the fly half is not in that standard. He's got to go. Yeah. The scrum half is struggling. He couldn't get a game in the Talnays, the Springboks. I don't think the wings are good enough, but our forwards were immense. Immense. Fantastic play from the hooker, who, if he'd have thrown the couple of line-outs right, we might have been all right. He missed a couple of lines, but he was fantastic with the ball. The redhead, who took his kits off. Yeah. He was outstanding.
Where did he take his kits off?
Before the game and after.
Okay.
he was strong. He's a strong man. Those forwards were very good. The captain was very good. I was very pleased with the way the pride. They wore the jersey with pride.
Were you wearing a jersey in the
No, I didn't have a Springbok jersey because mine's ill-fitting these days. I bought it when it was about 8 sponsors ago. See, they all changed.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it fits like a bit like a condom now, so I don't wear
Taiwanese.
that. Yeah, Taiwanese. So I don't wear that anymore. I just dress up casually. Yeah. But I was pleased. I was with Marsh and Bryn and the racing people who had just had that great success that day, winning the big race. So it was a wonderful afternoon. But I was proud of the Springboks for once.
Okay. Now moving on to more important things. While we have you here and we've got your attention, how was the wedding?
Fantastic. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
I saw some pictures of it.
Yeah, very.
Stick you out?
Stick me out. Stick me out. You know what I was amazed at, James? A bottle of wine, the corkage on a bottle of wine for the tables, 287 rand. Corkage. But beautifully arranged. The band were excellent. My daughter did a wonderful job, and everyone who helped, all her Oxford mates. It was a really good, and I was pleased to say that a good few of my South African friends made the trip out.
Yeah, there were a couple of them. They wouldn't miss a good piss up.
No, they wouldn't miss it. They came with their wives, and there was Big Trev. There was, of course, Phil Georgia, Clive Napier, Dennis Wesley, my brother-in-laws. They all went out, so it was wonderful. So I'm pleased that that's out of the way. Now we just have to.
Now you got to get rid of the last one.
She's 7.5 years younger.
How's she going? Because she's quite tight with what's his name?
Weber.
Weber, yeah.
Weber, the cyclist. Yeah. She's
quite tight with him.
I've kept an eye on them though. Just let her see my finances.
Yeah.
Paying for weddings, Whoo, but
okay, just
wonderful.
Getting on to the rest of the sport. South Africa smashed Bangladesh in the cricket. As usual, we beat everyone except when it comes to a World Cup or.
Now we've got Gibson in charge. What's he like, Jim?
Otis. He's very good. Very, very good.
Named after a lift company. That's very good.
Yeah. He was a lifter.
Yeah, he was a weightlifter.
Yeah. He's been around. Don't worry. Otis knows his way around. I think he played for Transvaal in those days, or for the Lions. Good fast bowler, and I think he's a good strategizer. And he won't be pushed around by anyone. And they look like they're on the right track. But let's see them up against some good opposition. The other good news was that Hatton won the Dunhill, which is Johan Rupert's tournament.
Yeah, I saw Sahana. So how did he chip in?
He's actually he followed up from last year. He won last year and won again this year. But the whole thing was a bit sort of overshadowed by this guy Oliver Fisher, Ross Fisher.
Ross Fisher, the Englishman. Yeah.
There's Oliver Fisher and Ross Fisher. Ross Fisher trying to break 60. he's in line to make 59.
Wow, has it ever been done?
Well, 60 is the European record. No one's ever broken 60 on the European tour. And he didn't do it. In fact, he missed a putt on the last hole, about this long, for the 60.
So he got 61.
61, which still is a course record, but everyone was watching him, you know. So but the conditions were benign. When there's no wind and no rain and just nice, slightly overcast conditions, that great golf course is not that difficult. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the big news.
Okay, so let's go talk some racing, you know, and some good runners over the weekend. We've got some feature races, which is good to see. Let's have a look.
Right, well, 3 to follow. Let's kick off with the first one. We go Greyville Friday night. Mario Ferreira's having a tremendous run with his horses all over South Africa. And this looks like one that we certainly worth going to be able to follow down the line. Flamenco Dancer, bred by Rites Kral. And she's out of that good mare of theirs. She's by Trippy. And she looks like she's got some future ahead of her. Let's go and pick her up at the start.
Yeah, they'd engaged Arthur Marcus to ride her, and I see she drifted slightly, I believe, in the betting. There was support for her, and she drifted. And she walks out of the gate. I think they had made their intentions clear from the way this was written, that they weren't going to try and go around them on the outside. And Arthur drops it in. There's a lot of speed in the race, you know. Pamonkey showing speed, Playlist, Wee Maggie, even Green Ice, your winner. But Arthur's now dropped it into last.
Yeah, he's just lobbing along at the back. Playlist, I thought, ran a nice race here, but Pamonkey runs past them all to lead it. And at this stage, about 5 or 6 lengths off them, is Flamenco Dancer, and she's got to go down the inside. Green Ice is the winner. She's had a couple of very, very good runs, 3 very good runs, Green Ice. Gunther Rockerman riding very well. He's there 5th on the one off the fence. And at this stage, Marcus has pulled off the fence and now looking for some room. And then he ends up going back down the inside.
Yeah, he's looking to try to get a run. You can see the colours. Arthur is going to dash down the inside. The winners in Fire Racing Trust colours of Alesh Schneider going past the horse in yellow. Gunther, as you say, real purple patch. Good to see him down here. Him and Louis are doing very well down here. But down the inside, the horse we found, Flamenco Dancer. For a stage or two, you think it's going to get there, James?
Yes, here it looks like it's got a chance, but I think that it's not in the best going, and it really just not able to get there right at the end of the day. And it will improve a lot, this filly. I would have thought. She looked big, and Dennis Bosch having a purple patch. He'd won the first with a very expensive Oratorio.
Very nice horse, I remember seeing
for the Fire Racing Trust. Very nice horse.
Pippa bred it. It's a beautiful, beautiful horse.
So that's well worth keeping a look at as well. And a couple of others out of this race we'll have a look at too. But let's go to Durbanville and go and pick up Flower of Carmel. Beautifully named, this filly, in the slack colours, Maritzfontein. Let's go and see her at the start. Candice Bass Robinson trains her, and she ran a good race.
She ran a very good race. Yeah, there's a lot of interest in a horse called Saltire, which runs a good race. It's runner-up. Pierre Cornet Offer. You can see it goes to the front with the nose, the white nose, a long, thin white nose. That's Pierre Cornet Offer getting up there, and he let something go out and lead him. And this was the horse that everyone thought would win. The horse that we found, as you know, the yellow and black colours, is beautifully placed. Only a length off Saltire and on the fence. And that's where Aldo De Mayo, who's also riding very well, has got it placed.
Yeah, at this stage, it looks like the filly that's had the run, Saltire, the VAR, is going to go and win it. I saw that Greg Sheen was down to ride it, but Orfer ended up riding it, did he? It wasn't Greg
Orfer rode it, definitely.
Yeah. And then this filly, Flower of Carmel, goes down the inside, and here it looks like she's got a blow, but she's just racing greenness and that. She's by Silvana out of Fort Woodmere. She shouldn't be sprinting, I wouldn't have thought. Yeah. But she does look like she's
very talented. You can see that, because Saltire is very green against people. But don't take it away from Trip to Ibiza for Hassan Adams and Dan Katz. Very good win with Donovan Dillon in the irons. But keep an eye on that horse we found, Flower of Carmel.
Yeah, nice to see Donovan Dillon back in the irons in Cape Town. I hear he had a miserable time in Mauritius. But you would have expected that. Magical Wonderland's the next one we're going to pick up, because this one has got to make this filly again go in your black book. We've told you when she won first time out, keep going with this filly. This filly beat the 3-year-old fillies the way she did. Absolutely incredible. Incredible win. She will be very hard to beat. I don't think there's a 3-year-old filly I've seen that will beat her.
Yeah, she was very impressive. When one considers she had 61 here, and Aldo De Meyer, as I say, was riding very well. He comes out slowly, and he elects to do the right thing. He goes over at the inside fence, and there it is. There's only, I think, one drops out behind it when they all get into racing order. And the runner-up's Rosenbloom, who runs a good race. Nelly Donovan Dillon bouncing back with another winner for Joey Ramsey. And then Too Fat to Fly. But have a look at this. I thought that Susanna, who only seems to find her feet very late in the race to run fifth, would be a big threat here, the Streetcraft filly. But have a look at second last is Magical Wonderland. This is a sparkling performance.
Yes, when you consider that she gave Princess Peach 3 kilos, Princess Peach won the debutante, so she's not a slouch. And then there were other fillies. Angel Trumpets won 2 in a row. Oh Susanna was very highly thought of. She's won and run 2 places in 3 starts. Sequined, you know, they're talking about these horses. She's getting them 4 or 5 kilos. Here she comes right to the outside with a black cap, under her hands right, and she just strolls past them. And I mean, she gets one smack there, one tap on the backside, and that is it. But race over. This filly has got to be top
leading
class.
Leading lot, this filly. Well done to Candice Bass-Robinson. She's got her string really fine. And as we said, Aldo's doing great. But
don't worry, Walter's there. He's cruising around in the background, getting his golf swing right, waiting for me to come down. I'm waiting.
You're getting your money
I'm trying
together?
to get my swing right, but I've got to be at the top of my game to be able to have a go at it.
Yeah, no pigeons in Cape Town anymore.
No, they're all Michelle and all those guys. They've become hawks.
Hawks, yeah.
And eagles. Okay. I don't know. It's just that they learned from us people when they came over the mountain. That's what happened. They changed. Their whole lives changed. Let's go and see what shouldn't happen.
And your name is? Jenna. They do call me to take donations all the time, and most of them are off the track. Australia, that's right.
Nothing worse than a schoolyard bully, eh?
No, do you think I was bullying or just
Yeah,
size?
no, he was bullying. You see the little bugger saying, turn it up.
Those who say size doesn't matter, or size doesn't count, should have a look at that.
Okay, well, you can watch a full unabridged version on YouTube. We're going to see the plum of the week.
To a stride, exquisite 8 on the outside, then comes Fast Look, but Elrain gets away from them, and it's Elrain from Lady Val as they get to the 200-meter marker, and Elrain is still clear by this 2. Lady Val's trying to close it down, but Elrain is still going, and it's Elrain from Lady Val who's trying to close it down, but Elrain's still in front. Lady Val's trying for all she's worth, she's coming, and Lady Val just got it. Anton's on a spree, that was number 3. Elrain second, Sweet Treat and King Lassie.
Well, we had to put that in. It was headlines in the Saturday Independent. Everyone was shouting this filly after her first run, and she looked like good value. She could have got 2-1 on Interbet at the end, 18-10. She started 16-10. She was short early on, 8-10.
It's going to be difficult, James, for people to buy High Chaparral fillies now. High Chaparral's flying third in Australia. Yeah, third in Australia. A great stallion. Yes, no, but I'm just saying the offspring for brood mares, for everything. This is I didn't realise High Chaparral was doing this well. You know, and so you thinks and horses like that. But this filly of yours, James, just on pedigree, you're only warming up with her.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the whole point. Listen, there's a lot of pressure, and Marcus, I thought you got to thank him. He rode a tremendous race because he knew that at the top of the straight he might get left a bit flat-footed. He said to me when he came and worked her, and he's a consummate professional, came and worked her, he said, this filly needs a mile. Let's rather go for a mile. And I said, well, I prepped her for this race, and I really like to try and win this race. Anyway.
What was I didn't realise she drifted out that far.
She drifted out. You could have got an Interbet 2-1, 18-10. You know, it was ridiculous because she'd run third to Billy Silver. She had only beaten 5 lengths by him.
On the debut.
And she's obviously come on and better. Hard to run them on the poly track, these type of fillies, but you've got nothing until, for another 6 weeks.
Yeah, correct.
If you're going to get going, you've got to get going. Anyway, she was worth having a bet on, and I think she's a tremendous filly. She's should be 3 to follow, but anyway, she got the plum spot. We're going to be back after this break, and we'll have a look at current affairs.
The future of all betting is online and mobile. Interbet, we're the pioneers of online and mobile betting in South Africa and continue to lead the way.
But when you win one of these big races, everything else becomes meaningless. It's just something, that thrill of adrenaline is just incredible.
Interbet is where the serious professionals bet.
Right, I think we're with current affairs, which we've got a tremendous amount of information for you and some nice races to have a look at.
Right, welcome to Current Affairs, and we're going to show you our stakes races that we had, and we've got a bit of info to talk about, but let's get rolling straight away with the Matcham Stakes. And James, just before we show this race, I was reading a report and having just been down there to look at my horses and down in Cape Town, they're going through a tremendous drought, and you really feel sorry for them. You know, there are water restrictions, and people aren't getting grass gallops, and I know that the Gold Standard, who eventually runs fourth in this race, they were saying it's just affecting our prep. But you've got to feel sorry for them because there's just no water there, James.
Yeah, it's interesting, Gold Standard, because I thought that Glenn had facilities on his farm. Glenn Cotson.
Yeah. Maybe they wanted to bring it to the racetrack.
And give them a gallop, But as far as the rest is concerned, this Matcham is always a very good guide as to what's going to happen over the season. And you end up with 2 Australian breds running first and second. Thank God we can beat them at rugby most of the time, or at least draw with them. But we can't beat them.
They can't beat us.
Yeah.
But this horse, our mate Art, what's it?
Artie Schiller.
Artie Schiller, because Flying Artie was the 3-year-old of the year in Australia yesterday by the same stallion. So Marsh and Bryn have got a very, Very talented horse. Now, I don't know how good this horse is. I've watched Candace go along with it quietly. It's getting better and better. The typical Bass method.
Absolutely. They just seem to look like they're sort of in the wings, and then they suddenly blossom. And this horse is one of those horses. I thought he won a tremendous race, this horse. And I thought the second horse ran a tremendous race. I thought he looked like he was big. He looked like he needed it. And let's go and pick them up at the 600-metre mark.
Valley and Copper Force going to whip them in as they straighten up in the World Sports Betting Matcham Stakes with just on 500 metres left to go. Icon King being tackled right by Milton. Left by Black Cat back. In the middle we got Armade Art. Down the inside Table Bay and Gold Standard. They taking off together with just on 300 metres left to go. Black Cat back on the outside Armade Art. Down the inside we got Table Bay that's running an absolute cracker. Armade Art and Table Bay. These two are left to do a duel. It's Armade Art and Table Bay. You couldn't get closer. Armade Art, Table Bay. Armade Art wins it from Table Bay. Silicon Valley and Gold Standard.
Yeah, our mate Art, a superb win and a game run from Table Bay. I like the finish of Silicon Valley as well, James.
I love this horse. I think he's a very, very nice horse, and I'm not sure that you're not going to find him being a real Met contender, Silicon Valley. Yeah. I think he's very good, and
came home hard.
He's just one of those horses. Glenn Puller doing a very good job with this horse. So he's certainly worth having a look at. Gold Standard, as I said, they were short of a gallop.
Yeah.
But then we moved on to the fillies version and
the Diana Stakes.
The Diana Stakes, and this is always another pointer as well. I think that the point was that the big filly, Magical Wonderland, had decided to go for the Progress. Which I thought she was so way out of there's so much weight to give away. She might find a problem, but who knows? She might have beaten this lot motherless too, because Good Time Girl won a good race. Let's go and see. Won very nicely, Mike Robinson, and one of the old supporters of the game. You know, those people.
Arthur Marcus.
Yeah, Arthur Marcus. Yeah.
As they straighten up in the World Sports Betting Dinah Stakes with just on 500 metres left to go. Captain's Flame, the one in front. Good Time Gal is quick to move in along the inside. Who's that girl? They're being followed by Nordic Breeze, Seattle Gold, and Gimme 6 is being produced up the outside with 300 metres left to go. Good Time Gal, meantime, has come forward and hit the front. Captain's Flame, Gimme 6 in the centre. He's also starting to lift her into the final 150. It's Good Time Gal. She's gone 2, 3, 4 lengths in front of them, and Good Time Gal gears down to victory. Good Time Gal from Gimme 6. Then came Who's That Girl, Captain's Flame.
Yeah, well done to Michael Robinson and Mr. Van Heerden, and we've seen those colours over the years, James, good colours, and Arthur Marcus, when he gets clear, you ain't going to catch him too easily.
Yes, especially on a filly like this. She's big and strong. She's by Royal Air Force. I think he stood at Terry Andrews' stud.
Yeah.
And he has been quite a good stallion. He's very, very underrated. This is obviously his best mare, and she's good, this mare.
She's
and
very
Michael's
good.
done a fantastic job with her. She's big and strong. She's out of a Silvano mare. I'm not sure that she won't go much further than this, but they've kept it to these sort of distances, and she's shown she's very good. So let's see what happens with her from here. But she won a good race, and well done to the team.
Very good race, yeah.
Mike Robinson, you remember, he's been around the block.
Yeah,
he was
he's been
very
around the
good
block.
with Plattner and
knows
Dennis Fryer ran his yard forever. Anyway,
now we're going to Turfies.
Turfies, yeah.
Yeah,
the meeting was...
yeah, the lot of rain, James.
Yeah, the last 2 races were cancelled.
Joburg Spring Challenge. It's a grade 2 race. What did you think, James, going into the race?
Fillies and mares. Well, a lot of horses warming up as well. So I'm not sure how this form is going to stand up. But this filly, Bella Sonata, she's one of the better fillies around. She carried the weight. She gave 8 kilos to Mrs. O. I thought she won a cracking good race. And I thought Damela rode her like a star. So
good rider.
Let's go and pick him up at the 600.
Alaleo races about 6 lengths off the leader, and Pool Party had no luck. Rock and Russian and My Funny Valentine, they travel together. Bella Sonata, and they followed by Chatouche. Out after them to She's a Dragon, and the trailer still Aldanza. Off the false rail, Secret Star guarded them for home, but the lead's been whittled down to about 1.5 lengths. Mrs. O is second. She's a Giver third. Then comes Rock and Russian. Bella Sonata is up the inside. Secret Star, the rider may still have the cards close to his chest. Mrs. O is in the all pink. Then Then Bella Sonata up the inside. Rockin' Russian is next. Bella Sonata, Mrs. O, they far apart. Rockin' Russian in between them. Then comes Secret Star, Bella Sonata, Mrs. O, as they run down to the wire with Rockin' Russian, but it's Bella Sonata. Bella Sonata has beaten Mrs. O. Rockin' Russian is going to run third, and fourth got close. Aldanza and Secret Star are involved.
Well, there we go. James Gavin-Zell's done a good job with Bella Sonata. And as you say, it's a lot of weight to give these young horses coming through. You know, the second and third horses, we're in receipt of a lot of weight.
Silvana mare, she's been pretty good. She's out of the Singspiel mare. And she's bred by Rio Stud. And, you know, owned by Main Chance. They obviously want to get as many Silvana fillies as they can, and good to get black type with her. I think that gives her a big black type. That's her first grade stakes
grade 2 win.
But she had small black type up to now. She's been there or thereabouts. So 2 3-year-olds. Well, we'll see. I think there are other 3-year-olds hanging around, and if you looked at those 2 3-year-olds,
progressive runs, James.
Yeah, if you look at those 2 3-year-olds and you look at Magical Wonderland, I know where you'll be hanging your hat over the season.
Okay.
Certainly next year, anyway. Right, then we go to the Joburg Spring Challenge.
Yeah, this looked an interesting race as well, over 1450, and James, again, when I looked at the event, I thought, who's going to win this race? And I thought Sean Terry could win it, but I got it wrong.
Yeah, well, we didn't think that was the right one, did we?
James, I was just looking earlier in the earlier race we looked at. The horses that were beaten in that dead ground were beaten a long way. They're the ones that were thumped, because it's just bottomless, you know. When it rains like that, it's heavy ground. So I don't know if the form will stand up to the end, but let's have a look at this. What did you think?
We'll have a look at it, then we'll talk about it, because this horse Wonderwall, he hasn't really been exposed, and this might have been the exposure that he needs. Let's go and pick him up at the 600.
Just ahead of New Predator in the white sheepskin noseband. Then comes Majalad against his inside. Barpot just ahead of Will Pays, and they're racing about 3.5 and 4 lengths off the leader. Besanova, blue sleeves and yellow cap. Coral Fever takes the scenic route. Then Finchasson and Matador Man off the false rail, and it's Wonderwall held together with a 1-length lead. New Predator now ranges up alongside with Majalad at the far side, further back to Will Pays, and then comes Barpot, but it's still Wonderwall who's keeping challenges at bay. New Predator second, then comes Majalad. Will Pays further back. Matador Man is to the outside. It's still Wonderwall, and he's kicked again. Wonderwall with 2 lengths to spare over Will Pays and Finchasson. What a win! Wonderwall could be a big hit in the making. Second goes to Finchasson, then came Will Pays and New Predator.
Yeah, well done, and Wonderwall seen Chris's colours again, and well done to Sean Terry, first and second with Finchasson. But again, bottomless ground, Jim.
Karari, bred by Main Chance, this horse. And the interesting thing is he's had 1 from 1 in the wet. So he's run once before in the wet and 1 in the wet. And this was, so he loves the wet. So he might just grow an extra leg when it gets wet. Yeah. That might be it, because he led from the start and he never looked like any danger of getting beaten. As you say, I'm not sure that this form will stand up, but we'll wait and see what happens. Let's go and have a look at what we got from Magic Millions, because I know we had a very good winner from them.
Yeah, we did.
Into the Limelight.
Yeah, Into the Limelight. This is by Your Song, an Anabar mare. You know.
I think this was Marsh Shirtliff. They bought it. Andy Williams might have bought it for him at Magic Millions. I'm sure that
55,000.
Yeah, Your Song. I'm sure that's where it was bought. And just talking about Magic Millions. Obviously, tomorrow and the next day is the
230 entries. You know, yeah. I looked through it. I actually spoke to Vin Cox there, chatted to him about the sale and about other things and about David Payne, and we had a good chat. And he said there's a lot of people coming in. He said some of the countries that are coming in bulk buy. Yeah. They don't come for one. They're not. What do they call it? They're not used to one rifle. They arrive, you know, and
they arrive with a battalion of rifles.
Right, and they buy bulk and that. But he said it's a good sale. There's a lot of quality, and he's very pleased. So let's hope it goes well for them.
Absolutely, I'm sure it will go well, and I'm really surprised that we haven't got a couple of hitters out there ourselves.
Yeah, me too. This is a sale that's affordable. They're prepared. You know, that's.
You'd think there would be a good sale to get involved in. Anyway, let's move on and have a look at talking about Australia. Obviously, David Payne's the headline of the weekend.
Fantastic. You know, Ace High by Your Stallion as well, High Chaparral, who's third in the log. It's fantastic. And David's always been a very astute trainer. He's won a lot of Group 1 races.
Do you know how many Group 1 races
Over
he's
100.
won?
Over 100.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. You're quite a good guesser.
No, well, I knew what he was like here. I trained with him. I finished second to him one year in the Natal Championship.
Did you?
David Payne, yeah.
Why did you shoot him?
No, he's my mate. Dave's going strong, you know. He won the spring champion
107 Group 1, 107th Group 1 winner. He's a fabulous trainer.
Nice to see John, who I always have a drink with, and I'm there in a suit. He's always very casually dressed.
That's his owner.
Yeah, they've been mates for years. I don't know the jockey, England or something. I don't know.
Tyne England or whatever.
Something like that, yeah, I don't know. But this horse has earned 5 million rand, the equivalent to 5 million rand. So, been a good horse, bought at Magic Millions.
Yeah.
And you know the family well. If anybody knows the family, it's you.
Well, absolutely, because I bought the brother, okay, which made 2 million at the Cape Thoroughbred Sales in Joburg.
The red drum.
And his name is New Dawn. He's with Joey Ramsden. Joey thinks a lot of him.
Yeah, he's a nice horse.
He's...
Why didn't you buy this one?
He was buying New Approach. Well, this horse was sold as a yearling. We were buying weanlings, you see.
Yeah.
He bought New Approach. This horse was by House Chaparral. And he says that he'll win the Victoria Derby with this horse. So
yeah, and you know what's interesting, just speaking with the Australian boys now, this horse is at 11 starts, but it's had 4 barrier trials. It had his barrier trial in July and a 9-horse barrier trial, and it ran 7th of 9. But the people saw it, it's come out around second, first. This horse will go down for the Victoria Derby next.
Yes.
Vin was telling me this was 10 furlongs, this race. It wants a trip. So let's hope David makes us a multiple Group 1 winner.
Well, the one thing about barrier trials, you remember that a horse that's going 10 furlongs has got to go in a 5-furlong barrier trial. You're not going to show that much.
Yeah.
But you've got to be
You see Winx's barrier trials?
Yeah.
The Winx flies in the barrier trials, you know.
Well,
so, do you know what's interesting, James? And a lot of people don't know this. When I worked in America, every day you have your newspaper and every horse, the clock is corner, they time every horse. Every fast work is timed. And it's over 3 furlong, 4 furlong, 5 furlong, whatever it is. And everyone who's the quickest in that time of the morning is in bold black type.
Yeah.
And you'd go in the morning.
Called a bullet.
Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Derby horse, quickest 3 furlong. Amazing how top horses put in a good work for you. You know, you think back to the model mans who could sprint and the superstars. But well done to David.
Yeah. Talking about Winx, did you see that win on Friday?
Amazing. In the Turnbull.
21st.
You know, we watched, and it's just amazing. I read an article of, I need your opinion on this. Who would you back, her or Enable over 10 furlong?
It depends. If they race in South Africa, I'd back
South Africa.
Enable. Well, one's in Europe and one's in Australia, so they've got to meet somewhere. So let them come meet here, Cape Town.
They can't get out.
We'll keep them both.
But it'll be some race. One's 21 in a row now, Winx, and Enable's a superstar. You know, it's by Nathaniel. It's inbred to Saddle as well, 2x3, I think, and the other one's a Mr. Prospector line horse. But 2 superstars there, James. How many years? It's been quite a few years now where fillies have dominated. Going back to the last really big horse to come out of Australia was a filly.
Well, they have their moments. You know?
Yeah, they do. 25 times and 21 times. And, you know, we've seen them all over the world.
I think fillies, when they're consistent, they're really consistent.
Well, I mean, Valderol was the best sprinter and Agu was the best horse at the same time in the country here. So it goes like that. But now, what about your good mate, O'Brien?
Just finishing on Winx, just watching that race, she just looks better on the left-hand turn than she does on the right-hand turn.
I've noticed that too.
And remember the Cox Plate, Mooney Valley is left-hand turn, which is going to, the way she gallops on the left-hand turn, she doesn't look under any pressure. On the right-hand turn, she just doesn't look comfortable.
Doesn't get there quickly
until she gets in the straight.
Do you know, James, that she is going for a 3rd Cox Plate, which will equal Kingston Town's record of
Kingston Town,
Kingston Town. So amazing. I think the whole country will be watching in a few weeks' time when they run that. Staying there, well, you're right, just staying there. Ryan Moore has elected to ride as Red Cardinal in the Melbourne Cup for Andreas Waller. He rode and for these owners and for Andreas Waller in 2014, and he won the Cup for them. So he's elected to ride this.
Well, that certainly gives it a better chance than normal, because to have Ryan Moore is like having Anton Marcus in this country. You know, it's just it makes a huge difference.
Yes.
To the way you're going to play the race and how the race is going to work out.
Yes.
what else we got there?
You know, you were talking to me earlier, and I was just, before you get into your story, just talking about jockeys in the news. William Buick's come back from a break, and he won a Group 3, and running third in the Group 1 was Jimmy Fortune, who's now hung up his boots. He was allowed to trot back first before the winning rider to a standing ovation. He's hung up his boots. He had 1,800 winners, including 16 Group 1 wins. Jimmy Fortune, good journeyman.
Do you know what classic he won?
No.
You must know what classic it was. I'll tell you the horse's name.
Tell me the horse's name. Can you remember it?
The horse's
Have a look
name
at your
was
notes.
Lucano. Okay.
It's a Stain race, St. Ledger.
For John Gosden.
Was it St. Ledger?
Yeah, St. Ledger. There you go. You see, I knew you'd know what it was. Okay.
Gerald St. Ledger.
Yeah, Gerald St. Ledger. And Toby Balding was who he used to ride. I mean, not Toby.
He's been to this
Andrew
country.
Balding was the guy who rode a lot for. Yeah, he's been here and ridden in the Jockeys
ridden,
International.
Jockeys
He's a hell of a nice guy. And
We wish him all the best.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to become a trainer, which is the best thing that most jockeys can do because it teaches them what it's all about. Teaches them a good lesson. I love watching.
Now, James, we were talking earlier about Winxon and Abel. It'd be great if they locked on. But you were telling me about a match race in 1974.
Yeah, there was a match race in 1974 at Lincoln Downs. I don't think Lincoln Downs in America is still at $5,000 was the stake. And it was a different type of match race because that was when there's just after the suffragettes and them, were starting to stamp their authority in America. In Lincoln Downs, they decided that the feminists would have a go against the males. So they had a lady jockey called Denise Bourdot, okay? She was a top rider.
Yeah.
And Mike Lepancy.
Oh, Lepancy.
Yeah, Mike Lepancy decided that he'd take her on, which is, he was on a hiding to nothing. If he beat her, Sid will say he should beat her. And if he didn't beat her, well, he's going to be the fun of all his mates for the rest of his life.
Yes.
Well, you know what happened.
He won. They had 2 legs, didn't they?
Well, what happened was that he got beaten in the first leg.
He got beaten by her.
Yeah, she
Lepancy.
Yeah, Lepancy ran second. So they swapped the horses and ran a week later. Okay.
Lepancy
rode her horse, which she had won on the week before.
So they equaled it.
Just to give them a chance.
And 1 each.
I'd hate to be Lepancy.
He got beat again.
2-0. 2-0.
Was he married to this girl?
Denise. There was all that racing in America with Chantal Sutherland and her boyfriend. You remember they fell out and they had that thing.
Right,
but this was in 1974.
Yeah,
Lincoln Downs. Kitten's Joy, we mentioned last week, you weren't here. He was going to go to Europe to stand because Ramsey had a fit. He said, it's nonsense, my horse is not getting enough money at the sales, and he's the best grass horse in the world, and he's going to go to Europe. Well, he's not going to go to Europe. He's going to actually go to Hill and Dale. They bought 50% in the horse. We nearly finished.
Yeah, just before you have the break, talk about Godolphin and Magny and Godolphin trying to buy that Galileo filly out of Dank. How was that, James?
Well, they bought it. They ended up buying it. The underbidder was Magna. 4 million guineas.
Who owned the filly?
I'm not sure. It was one of the stud farms, but I'm sure that you find that the
Galileo horse,
the Irish boys probably had it with them there.
Okay, 4 million guineas. Think of that.
Okay. That's the only other news was Roly Poly, 23rd Group 1 for Aidan O'Brien. He's got 2 more to go to equal
Bobby Frankel, 25.
Yeah. And that's a full sister to US Navy flag who won the Middle Park Stakes. That's is there anything else you got on that?
No, I've gone through everything.
Okay, we're going to come back and watch a professional break in a horse. I think we're going to go to the York Hall Sting.
Yes, we're going to go watch. We want to talk about this
we're
breaking
going to
in
talk
horses.
about this before we go to the York Hall Sting.
Yeah.
What I'd like to tell you is that I'm going through. I'm fascinated. YouTube tells you so much stuff, and we're always picking up information on it. And I watch. And I've watched in the 45 odd years that I've been involved, people breaking in horses. And I see some horrendous things. I mean, absolutely unbelievable.
Sandbagging and all that. Terrible.
Yeah. And
terrible.
even today, I see guys chasing horses around with stock whips in heavy sand. And, just
it's got to be done out of willingness. That's the key,
That's the key. And as a result, I found this clip. I've seen lots of people break in horses. We have a guy at Summerfeld Glen, you probably know him. He's like a Monty Roberts type guy and does it that way. And then you get all the other kinds. But this clip really interested me because this guy, in 4 hours, not only did he break in this horse, but he got it to do things that we take a long time to get horses to do. And you can see this horse is
win a race?
I think it was ready to win. It was getting on the float and going.
I'd like to see it because they are top boys. We got Domini Milan here.
Yeah.
We got the boy you just
Domini
spoke about.
Milan. Yeah.
We've got, of course, overseas the horse whisperer, the famous horse whisperer, Monty Roberts. There's a guy called, I think his name's Bannerman, who's in America. These guys are very good with horses.
Well, this guy looked like an Indian. He's got it in an indoor school, and this horse, you can see, there's no way this horse is going to give him 1/2 inch. It wants to attack him.
Yeah.
It wants to do everything, and he just plays it on a break. And he's just absolutely all eye contact. Eventually, this horse
realizes.
Well, it's 10 or 11 minutes, not long, but it's certainly worth having a look at. And it brings us to another series that I found on the internet, which might interest South African viewers too. At the Races followed the career of 4 horses with Jamie Osborne. And they did it in a 3-part series, and we might put that up.
That's very interesting.
And how they started, where he got them going, what he talks.
Jamie, didn't he win the Guineas a few years back?
Yeah. He talks about how he selects the horses, what he's trying to find, and they're not expensive horses, and it shows you how he gets them going. And what I find fascinating is we do it as a job. And we've been doing it forever, so we know what we're doing, we've got an idea where we're going, and we know what the end product is. And it depends on your raw materials as to how successful you are. But at the end of the day, we're all doing the same job. And people out there who buy horses don't understand how much work goes into getting a horse
to the foundation
a race course.
Correct.
To run. There are so many things that can go wrong with these fragile animals. If you just don't keep your finger on the pulse. Anyway, are you ready to watch this?
I'm ready to watch it.
As the
famous horseman said, nothing can go wrong.
No.
Go wrong. Go wrong. Go wrong. With horses, anything happens. But this is very well worth watching.
Ta-da!
Whoever said winning isn't everything never had to fight cancer. South Africa's sporting community has embraced the challenge, and once again, the sport of horse racing adds its voice. On Friday night, 27th October, Gravel Racecourse goes pink in support of breast cancer awareness. All funds raised will go towards building Pink Drive's mobile mammogram and educational units. When you're helping to fight cancer, winning is everything. The Pink Drive Race Meeting, Friday night, 27 October.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.